So I will take this moment just to introduce myself. My name is Angela Potts-Mang'andah, and I have been with the Power of Love Ministry for 10 years now. And I'm so excited to be the host of Sundays with Spirit. And it's wonderful whenever we get to fill in for Jennifer and give her some personal time to take good care of herself, which she does. She's got full schedule all year long, so we're happy to fill in for her. I'm so excited that we've got Sean behind the scenes, and Sean has recommended Lori Cardona to be our speaker today. And then we've got Tammy kicking us off with a prayer, and Christopher Spinks is here for our music today. So we've got a wonderful service as always. If you haven't had a chance to put your intention in the chat, thank you for those of you who are. It can improve your experience or increase your experience. So yeah, I'm going to introduce Tammy and we will get things rolling. So Tamisha Harriman is part of our spiritual counselor in training. She's part of our spiritual counseling program, as well as currently in Masterful Living and very active in our community. She facilitates miracle circles, which we'll talk more about at the end. And just a beautiful, powerful, inspirational presence. So happy that you're kicking us off, Tammy. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Angela. What a great introduction. Oh, happy Sunday, everyone. Let's just place our hand on our heart and take the deep breath and connect to our intentions. What are we here for? And we are so grateful and thankful to partner up with our holy higher self. We are so grateful and thankful that right now we can fully connect with the mind of God, our infinite love, our joy, our peace, our harmony. We are so grateful and thankful for this service. We're grateful and thankful for this healing space, this healing message that we are about to hear from Lori, and the healing music that we're also about to hear from Christopher that's going to lead us back to love, our home. So we're grateful and thankful for Angela as our host. And we're grateful and thankful for this entire community of Power of Love that Jennifer continues to build and follow the guidance of Holy Spirit with love intentions. And so right now, we just open our hearts to the full extent of receiving the healing that this service is about to lay on us. We receive it all. We receive it all. We receive it all. We let go of any resistance and we just open up to the power of love, to the power of joy, and to the mind of God. We know that the healing has happened. We know that we are already healed, whole, and complete. And we just lay safely in the hand of God right here, right now. We join hands together to receive all that God have in store for us, all that love have in store for us. And as we receive, we are with the willingness of our hearts, we share the benefits with everyone we encounter because we know that we are one. And so we let the healing happen. We rejoice and we say, so it is. We let it be. We let it be. We let it be. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. So much. I think Christopher's step up. Okay, so we are going to introduce Christopher. Okay, just going to mute Christopher, but we're going to bring him in. I hope he's doing okay. So we'll go ahead and introduce Christopher if he is so ready to come. Okay. All right. So I'd love to introduce Christopher Spinks. He's been here many times before. He's so precious. He sings right to your heart. And so Christopher Spinks is a singer-songwriter who enjoys sharing his original music. We're getting some feedback. Okay.
I think it's Christopher.
Well, I'll mute him. We have to turn off his video. Okay. Maybe Christopher, if you turn off your video, we get more bandwidth.
There's feedback.
Okay. So let's see. So Christopher, if you want to mute your camera for a moment, and I will finish introducing you, and we'll see if I mute myself, and we'll bring you on. We'll see how that goes. We'll see. And everybody else, you just pray. We're going to pray for the highest and best, and was the technology to smooth out. So Christopher Spinks is a singer-songwriter who enjoys sharing his original music about love, light, joy, and peace whenever and wherever he can. It is his desire that it helps to raise the vibration of the universe, especially during times such as these. So let's try to bring Christopher in here. Sean's smile is keeping me calm. So we got this. Are you able to bring him in, Sean? Not able to
He's muted. And we can start it. You are very muffled.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, how's it going?
Okay.
Okay, Christopher. Okay. Okay, I'm not hearing you clearly yet. Maybe you want to, yeah. No. Maybe you want to do a couple things. Maybe first, just leave the meeting and come back. Try to rejoin and see if it clears things up. This is tricky. Okay. Okay, he muted himself, or you muted him.
Yeah, let me see if I can find somebody.
I feel like the leave and come back is like the way you fix the old. Okay, he left. He left. Okay, let's give him a chance. It's kind of the way that when you're playing the video games and they don't work and you just blow in the machine, it's like the first thing you do. And maybe that helps. Like that's old school Nintendo.
That's the best way to fix your TV, yeah.
Let's give him a try. Oh, I see Mary. Hi, Mary. Hi, Elizabeth. Yeah. Okay. This is the one limitation, I guess, of Zoom, like in real life, you know, don't have this, but we are.
I hear you've been singing a little, Angela.
I have, but I wouldn't say that's, I wouldn't say that being on the spot is,
A cappella.
I mean, I do feel like if he's not coming back, we can just switch the order of things and we can have Lori start us off. I haven't seen him.
He is back.
He's back. We'll give this one more try.
I'm going to ask you to unmute. There he goes. That sounds good,
Oh,
but we can't hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
okay.
You made it, Christopher.
Wow. Forgive me. My devices are acting up. Can you hear me? Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay. I apologize. I'm just running in from another service and my things were set up, I thought. But nonetheless, I'm ready. Can you hear me? I give up, I give in, I surrender to love. I take off my gloves, throw up my hands, I surrender to love. I give up, I give in, I surrender to love. I take off my gloves, throw up my hands, I surrender to love. I love the smile at everyone I see. Some reflect the love back at me. If they won't, I don't take it personally. I don't regret it. I don't even split it. No. Cause the love and life that's inside of me sustains the joy and peace that sets me free. Helps me to be who I have come here to be. So I surrender. I'm grateful I've surrendered to love. To love. I let go of pride, I set it aside. I surrender to love. I look from within, no longer above. I surrender to love. I love to smile at everyone I see. Some reflect the love back at me. If they won't, I don't take it personally. I don't regret it. I don't even sweat it, no. Cause the love and life that's inside of me sustains the joy and peace that sets me free. Helps me to be who I have come here to be. So I surrender. Won't you surrender to love? Love, to love. Surrender to God, surrender to joy, surrender to peace. I surrender to love.
Beautiful. Wow. It's like rocked me. Thank you, Christopher.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for sticking with it and jumping right in and putting us in our heart. Thank you so much. Beautiful. I love that song. Okay, now we're moving to introduce our speaker, Lori Cardona. I'm very excited because I got to learn a lot about Lori when I was looking her up. And so a little bit about Lori. Reverend Lori Cardona is an interfaith minister and a graduate of the New Seminary in New York City. She holds a BA in psychology, an MA in counseling, and a doctorate in holistic theology. She served for over 25 years as an executive administrator, counselor, consultant, and educator in the field of human services before getting her call to ministry. And it's funny, on her website, she said, I literally got a call and she answered. So maybe you'll say something about that. She's the co-founder and dean of Sacred Journey Interfaith Seminary in South Florida. She's the founder and spiritual leader of LMC, Love Miracles Community, Interfaith Ministries. She's the facilitator of Miracles with a Twist, a weekly live stream of teachings based on A Course in Miracles on Facebook every Thursday at 7 p.m. And Lori facilitates the Open Air Ashram, a monthly full moon sacred ceremony on Fort Lauderdale Beach, which is how I think she knows Sean. So, so excited to have you here, Lori. and take it away. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I had no idea you were going to find all that stuff about me. But yeah, I'll tell you that story about the call to ministry in just a minute. I'm really happy to be here. I really appreciate the invitation to be here. And I follow in a line of South Floridians. Last week you had the mighty companions of Sean and Janet and Key, who the musician, and Kai. And it's just amazing that I don't know even if you know what powerful light beings they are, powerful spiritual presence here in South Florida. I'm so grateful to know them, especially Sean. Sean and I have gotten very close. We're spiritual sisters now. And we're just really enjoying building a spiritual companionship. So we're all down here in South Florida, just trying to spread some light and be the light, embrace the light. And especially when it comes to A Course in Miracles, I kind of wanted to say to get the word out, but when I thought about saying that, I had to correct myself because I thought about something Ken Wapnick said. He said, Jesus isn't looking for people to get the word out. He's looking for us to get the word in. It's for us to absorb, embrace, and become our spiritual principles so that we are living them, not just talking about them, not just weekly reading and having discussions, but to truly learn through our own trial and error of our human ups and downs to make the corrections that are necessary so that we can truly be the example of the lessons in A Course in Miracles. And so that's what we're all here to do. And that's what we're trying to do. That's what my journey with A Course in Miracles goes back so many years that I had a book that didn't have all the sentences in them because I put it down like a lot of people. I picked it up, started to read it, put it down. And years later, I picked it up and went to A Course in Miracles class, and people were reading. And I'd say, wait, what? Like my sentence ended before theirs. And I would wait till after class and I would take a pen and fill in the extra sentences. That's how old my book was. And then somewhere along the line, I got my now 20-something year book, but it's got all the lines in it. It's got all the complete sentences, finally. I really became much more dedicated after seminary. And since you asked about that, I'll tell you, John Mundy was one of my ordaining deans. And of course, he spoke a lot about A Course in Miracles. So I became much more enthralled with it and started attending classes and eventually became a facilitator of classes. But I had 20-something years in the field of human services, working with special populations, but always interested in different religions. I went on this search for truth, and it just took me everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean from east to west and everything in between, indigenous and beyond. And I was just loving everything. And I kept thinking that everything that everybody was doing was so amazing and so beautiful, but it didn't seem like the absolute truth. And so I started wondering, well, what is the absolute truth? And I got a call from a friend of mine, literally a phone call back, old fashioned. I picked it up this way. And this friend of mine was talking about a seminary that she was about to attend. And she said it was an interfaith seminary and that it was a 2-year course of study. You learned all the different religions. And then the second year, you learn how to apply what you've learned to ministerial duties. And I said, I love that so much. It seems so much more in line with the way I've been searching for truth. And I put the phone down, picked it back up, waited for the dial tone, and I called the seminary right then and there. I called the seminary right then and there and asked to be a candidate for their seminary. Fast forward 13 years and I started my own seminary. It's one of its kind. It's the only one of its kind here in Southeast Florida. So I've been very dedicated to doing ministerial mixed with educational type things. And that includes A Course in Miracles, which is, really, truly my deepest path. And I do try to integrate some interfaith concepts into the teachings. So that's what I love about Jennifer Hadley and this forum is that she's just so real and so raw. When I read her letters and her messages, it's like, she's not afraid to talk about, who she was or how she was and, what she's striving for and all the bumps and the bruises along the line. And she's kind of paved a way for those of us who also have our spiritual amnesia and fall off the path every now and then, and have to remind ourselves that this is a gentle path. This is such a gentle path. It's just not about being a sinner, but making mistakes that are in need of correction and gently bringing ourselves to that correction. And that's how we bring the word into us. That's how we embrace the word of these lessons. So to me, the greatest challenges on a daily basis are the major concepts of forgiveness and judgment. So those are some of the things I want to talk about today. One of the things that I think about is in the CE edition, there's these cameos, and there's one where Helen is talking about her husband and she's having issues with him, and Jesus tells her just to love him steadily, just love him steadily. And so it's become sort of like a spiritual battle cry for me. I say my intention is to pray harder, rise higher, love steadily, and forgive readily. And as long as that's my internal chant, then I keep moving in that direction, even if it's hourly, even if something just comes up and is like, in this moment, I need to pray harder and rise higher so that I can remember what it is that I need to do to be in non-judgment and to forgive. So I wanted to talk about judgment a little bit. We've been talking a lot about judgment in my community here lately. We've been looking at it from the manual for teachers, but really early on, lesson 25 tells us, I do not know what anything is for. And if I do not know what anything is for, then I don't know when there is a situation that I find unpleasant, that's not meeting some need that I've decided would make me happy. And if that situation is causing some upset in me, I don't know why it happened. So I need to look at myself. And this is the correction that I continuously come back to, because I don't know what anything is for. So we have just all sorts of judgments. There's the simple, easy ones, like maybe you're in the store or you're driving and somebody does something that you find unpleasant. They cut you off, or they do something that annoys you a little bit. I call that a catch and release judgment. Like you can catch yourself, oh, I'm making a judgment. I just judged that person. And now I can look internally, look at myself. What was that all about? Forgive it, release it, catch and release. Those are easy ones, because the more we become hyper aware and sensitive to our own way of thinking and being and interacting in the world, the quicker we can catch those. But then there's the ones that are a little bit more difficult when they are hurting us on a personal level or an emotional level. The closer things are to home, the closer they are to us personally, the more we have to sort of work on deconstructing what our reactivity is and what it is that we're doing about it. So we start resisting the urge to, call somebody and get them to be on our side, or to hear our story, or to vent about whatever it is that has occurred. And so then we have a little more digging deep to do within ourselves, so that we can observe ourselves and notice that we're making a judgment, and we're making not just a catch and release judgment, but maybe a harsh judgment. And so it's a little more introspection, a little more prayer work, a little more forgiveness work that we have to do in order to move on beyond it and finally find ourselves putting it past us, and not going through the old behavior of trying to make that person's wrong and I'm right. But then there's the tragic situation, and I'm going to tell you a story, and it's pretty unpleasant. So I'm sorry if I'm going to put a little bit of a downer on this particular part, but I think it's important to understand how this can be constructed. And this has to do with a very good friend of mine, a dear friend of 14 years, who back in February was mauled to death by a dog. She was a volunteer at a rescue house, and she was working with this dog that was had been abused, and the dog attacked her and mauled her. It was pretty horrific. And that particular day, actually, I was waiting for her, because we've been doing Course in Miracles together for 10 years. Every week she's here at my house. I had the table ready for our dinner together, and I happened to pass the rescue house that day, and there were fire trucks and police, and I'm texting her saying, hey, what's going on over there? I thought maybe there was an accident, like a car accident. And I found out about an hour later that she had been killed. And so in terms of judgment, I want to show you how I unpacked all this, because initially it was the physical and emotional response to that. It was very shocking. It was very terrifying. It was all the emotions you can possibly imagine. In addition to the fact that it took a toll on my body physically. I got COVID 2 months later, which is interesting because I was a healthcare worker during the height of COVID, never got sick. And it wasn't until after this tragedy that my body responded by getting ill. And I had big COVID. I was really sick with COVID. But I think it was my body's way of just putting me in a place of needing to catch up on some rest, because there was so much judgment from all of us. Why her? She's so good. She's such, she was doing this amazing work. And, we were angry, we were judging and trying to understand it. And from a place of judgment, from a Course in Miracles perspective, once again, we don't know what anything is for. So my emotional self had to catch up to that, remembering that I don't know what anything is for, not even this horrific event. Socially, there was a rally cry out there against the rescue house. There was people fighting amongst themselves, who's responsible. And again, judgment, and trying to rise above it. The thing about rising above, looking down at the battleground, trying to survive it from a place of service. Because at that point, I had to provide service. I was doing ceremonies on the beach. I was doing emergency gatherings. I was doing grief. But I'll tell you, this is where I came to understand the power of spirit at a time like this, because that was not of me. When I was called to service, which was at least once a day, I was powered by spirit. I was motivated and inspired, and the words did not come from me, because when I wasn't of service, I was staring at the wall in shock and in pain and in grief. So my understanding of judgment was the fact that no matter what was going on, no matter what anybody was doing, that it was not for me to make a determination as to why this happened to her. In fact, I wanted to read something from the Manual for Teachers, which really helped me put it in perspective too. This is from the Manual for Teachers, question number 10, how is judgment relinquished? And it says here, this is not an opinion, but a fact. In order to judge anything rightly, one must have to be fully aware of an inconceivably wide range of things, past, present, and to come. One would have to recognize in advance all the effects of his judgment on everyone and everything involved in every way. And one would have to be certain that there is no distortion in his perception. And as long as I can understand that, there's no way for me to know her soul's journey, for me to know the past, the present, and the future of this situation. And I cannot judge it in any way other than to step back and to let whatever is going to unfold afterwards. And so as a spiritual community, we really came together with a sense of connection and awe of whatever it is that happens in life. And let me tell you something, 10 years ago, I did one of my open air ashram events was at the back of a friend's house. It's usually on the beach or the park. It was at the back of a friend's house. And what we do is we do this ceremony under the full moon. And at the very end, we hold up this bowl of water that serves as our change agent. And we say a prayer. And as we're saying the prayer, everybody's putting their blessings on the water, on the bowl of water. So I have my hand up there, everybody's praying. And all of a sudden, this transponder blew. We all looked up. We saw this electric current go across and hit another transponder. These wires came down, started to whip around, knocked into all the cars in the driveway. We were held up for hours by the police and all. And the whole town went black. And a memory came up on Facebook and I posted about it. And my friend who died by the killing of the dog, this is what she wrote 10 years ago. She said, being there that night was a humbling experience for me. Seeing how the unexpected can strike at any moment made me realize how important it is to be in conscious contact with spirit. And to realize that this is something she wrote 10 years ago, that the unexpected can strike at any moment. And so the unexpected did strike. It did strike, and it put her in a place where we will always be wondering, why did that happen? But it's not for us to determine. It's for us to continuously walk the talk and be in the blessings opportunity, to be able to see where we are at any given point, to be a voice for hope and for kindness and compassion, and to show up. You know, if we can show up in some way, maybe we can affect change. The action that we might be able to do is to pass a law that allows for more regulations in rescue houses, because in Florida there are none. There are, there are hardly any regulations. So things like that we can do, as opposed to just being in our upset, just being in anger, just engaging with other people about what should have been done or what could have been done. But to see how we can be a blessing, how we can affect change in a positive way, which takes us back to the beginning. It's not about preaching or teaching or reading and discussing. It's about how can we bring what we've learned into our way of being? How can we show up as a blessing, as a compassionate responder to whatever is happening in life? And for us to get to a point where we can actually be grateful for whatever it is that occurs. I mean, people thought I was losing my mind. Well, I had COVID brain, but besides that, people thought I was losing my mind because I kept saying I was grateful. I was grateful for the experience, because when I was a healthcare worker, I didn't know what people were going through. I just knew it from the other side. But I was grateful for the love that showed up, for the compassion, for the way that people returned love and blessings to me, back to me, through me, with me. It was a community that helped me to heal. And I was able to say that I am grateful. In fact, I'm going to tell you one story. I was trying to do one thing a day. I could only do about one thing a day. That's all I had the energy for. And one day I was trying to do some clippings of a tree outside, and the garbage man pulled up, and he got out and he helped me. He just got out and started helping me. And I thought about how spirit shows up in any sort of way, like when you least expect it. This person who is basically faceless to most of the community, who looks at the garbage man, who knows who the garbage man is, and yet he was my greatest blessing that day. And I was so grateful. I'm so grateful for the little things that we can see as miracles, even in the death of my friend, knowing that her death has made a difference in so many lives. Over 200 people showed up for her memorial. Over 200 people have made a commitment to trying to affect some change in the laws. And so instead of seeing it as a tragedy that we become a victim of and start to identify ourselves as a victim of that tragedy, we decided not to judge it. We took a page from the Course that tells us there's no way we can know why that is. And to be in a place of surrender and willingness to just move forward on this path that I share with all of you. And I'm so glad to be here. I want to end with a prayer from lesson 123. It says, today, in gratitude, we lift our hearts above despair and raise our thankful eyes, no longer looking down to the dust. We sing a song of thankfulness today in honor of the self that God has willed to be our true identity. Today, we smile on everyone we see and walk with lightened footsteps as we go to do what is appointed us to do. So amen to that. God bless you all.
Thank you, Lori. So thankful for your presence, your mighty presence. And yeah, we'll see what spirit leads, because what we do is take your message and go into a little meditation. And so I'm opening myself in this moment to where that could be. So thank you so much, Lori, for sharing. All right, so we can just take a breath and relax the body. And just find the breath. And just give thanks for this time where we can consciously connect with spirit. So grateful to join together and to have heard these powerful messages in the story of this precious volunteer. Can we know her name, Lori?
Yes, her name is Pam, Pam Robb.
Okay. Yeah, so grateful to just connect with spirit and including the spirit of Pam. So grateful to have this chance to join with Lori and her community and to honor this precious soul. And to open our heart to the beautiful way that they were willing to put into practice, not only self-compassion and self-love and the opportunity to just be a human being, having human emotions. And also then the opportunity to trust in God, trust in divine order, to not need to know what anything is for. We're grateful that from this story, we can also be reminded the importance of consciously connecting with spirit moment by moment. Grateful to hear from you, Lori, that you have that sort of personal credo, that personal contract, which I can't remember what it was exactly, but to rise above the battlefield, to pray hard. So to rise above all things with prayer and to be ready to forgive, to be ready to let go of our judgments and to love steadily. And so let us use this time to just see if there's any situation we've recently experienced in our own life where we lost connection with spirit. We were out of our loving heart. Maybe there's a relationship or some way that we were where we didn't feel kind, we didn't feel loving. And let us first meet that memory, that visual, that observation of ourself with compassion. Because like Lori, like all of us, we are surprised. We were surprised. We were not expecting something to happen a certain way. And let us see, what would love do there? What's the do-over we could do? What would love do? Maybe seeing ourselves pressing play on that moment in time. Having released our judgment of the surprise and seeing ourselves showing up lovingly. And knowing we can use the power of our mind if there are any memories that we are holding where we were unkind or someone was unkind to us and we weren't expecting it. It brought up a trigger for us that we can be still, connect with spirit. We can just let it go, and we can also go back and see it differently. We can choose again. And so we're grateful for this reminder. We can't get it enough, this reminder that what we're here to do is to represent He who sent us. To love steadily, to do our very best, which we are doing. And to open ourselves that love can be the response to all things. that we can have a peaceful heart. In all situations. So we're thankful for the journey. We're thankful to share it together. We're thankful to remember that we can go back in our mind's eye, and we can replace all things with love. So we're grateful to have this time. We stay in this space and we call in Christopher. If you would please bless us with another one of your musical arrangements. Thank you.
Consciously breathe in the love and the light that God is. Feel the great power rise up from the peace that God gives. Allow it to fill you and the space all around you. There is no spot where God is not. Consciously breathe in the love and the light that God is. Feel the great power rise up from the peace that God gives. Allow it to fill you and the space all around you. There is no spot where God is not. God is here, there, and everywhere. This much I know and can see. But most of all, God lives in me. God is here, there, and everywhere. This much I know and can see. But most of all, God lives in me.
You know just what to say. You know just what to sing. Thank you, Christopher.
Bless you. Thank you.
As soon as you start, my eyes like shut and I go like right into my heart. So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is the opportunity we have in our service to have a breakout where you can have a discussion. You can talk about what has come up for you, what's on your heart, and interact with some other people in the service. It's kind of like turning in the pew and having a conversation with your neighbors. So we will put you into small breakouts, and we just ask that you be mindful that you share the time with your fellow members and just give everybody a chance to share, and no pressure to share. If you'd like to just be a loving presence and a listening presence, that's perfect. And just, yeah, just heading into the breakout, what stood out from you in the service? And is there anywhere in your life you'd like to apply that love steadily? That's sticking out for me. Anywhere that comes to you that would be helpful to you to stay committed to love. So we can send you into the breakout now, and then we'll have the Facebook Live while we're doing that. Thanks, Sean. Okay. Oh, nice picture of Frank there. I've never seen that picture. I like it. All right, let me do this. Oh, hey, Frank. Okay, so we sent Tammy in. Maybe we can get Tammy out if she wants to be part of the, okay. Okay, so I'll give this a second. Okay. Well, it's just the two of us now. I think she had to go physically get her and bring her out. Yeah, so we have, okay, 18 minutes Facebook Live. And so we have a lot of other listeners on Facebook who don't attend the live as you use that platform too. And yeah, so I guess I can start, Lori, just to say thank you so much. You know, one of the things is, yay, Tammy, we were missing you. Okay, let's see.
So I think Christopher and Janet, we clicked on something different. So they're here right now.
Okay, here we go. There's Christopher. Okay. All right, great. And then here we go. We can do this. All right. So then I'm going to rewind and say welcome and thank you for staying for the Facebook Live. And I'll then give it to you, Tammy, if you'd like to share anything from the service that spoke to you today.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Laurie, I love your story and your message. And it just kind of confirms something that I am going through. And what really stuck to me was when you said you needed to step back a little bit and just recognize that you don't know what anything is for. And I am really, last week, I actually had the opportunity to step back because I realized that I was just judging I'm dealing with a situation where my dad is very ill. And I am judging it so much. I am judging my family so much, and I can feel it because it feels so chaotic in my mind. My body just feels so tired from the constant judgment. And I was just asking, Spirit, what can I do? You know, how can I stop judging myself and the situation? And what really came to me was to step back. And I did. And I felt a little bit like my ego was kind of telling me to judge that too. But I am at a place where it's so weird, where I can recognize what my ego wants me to do. Like I can see it, right? It's more of a seeing now than a feeling, right? So yes, thank you for that confirmation that when we are judging things, even with our loved ones and with our families, it's okay to step back and it's okay to step out of it. And now that I've really stepped out of it, oh my gosh, it feels so peaceful. I feel like my asking, how is my dad, is so much more genuine. It comes from such a more loving place. And I love that. I love the being free from the emotional chaos, the mental chaos of the judgment. So thank you for that. And Christopher, as always, I just love your music. I love every song. So thank you.
Thank you, Tammy. Lori, do you want to respond at all to that?
I would, because I took care of my mom when she was dying and went through all that stuff, you know, all that judgment and, you know, caregivers and, you know, who shows up, who doesn't show up, and constantly going through the human emotion, you know, and I think it's really important that we allow our human emotion, but then watch it, you know. It's kind of like, you know, we become observers. The further we are on this path, the better we are at observing ourselves, you know. And I have a story that I tell about one day I walked into my house and there were people in my house robbing my house. They were ransacking my house and they realized I was there, you know, and they started running. And I didn't stand there and go, oh, I can see peace instead of this. Not in that moment, you know. In that moment, I ran out. I called the police. I had to take care of my house. I had to take care of my family, my stuff, you know, and my emotions. But one of the things that we know on the spiritual path is that it's like a physical wound. Once you get the wound, you tend to it, you know. So we tend to our emotional wounds and the stuff that's going on that upsets us. And we can say, you know, tell me where to go, tell me what to do, tell me what to say and to whom, and then back off and wait, you know, wait for spirit to nudge us in one direction or another. So thank you for sharing that story. I walked that exact path. I sure did. You did. So God bless you through all of that. And Janet, hi, where are you?
I know, let's pass to Janet.
I was singing your praises earlier. I don't know if you heard me.
I did. It takes a while to do the unmuting part. Yes, and it's lovely to see you. And the stars aligned because I'm normally not around on Sundays. I'm playing grandmother, but I happen to be here because I did that yesterday. And so I was thrilled that you were the speaker. So I was like, gotta support the hometown girl. So
Exactly. Thank you.
and thank you for your kind words as well. Yeah, this is great, the little South Florida representation, you know, because the spiritual community down here has grown exponentially for over the past many years, as you know. So I love when you talked about the disturbances of catch and release. That was brilliant. It was a great way, you know, for all of those people cutting in line at the grocery store or the traffic things. That was a great way to describe them because it's so visual that you can really see, yep, got it, let it go, got it, let it go. I love that. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate the whole talk. And, you know, I knew the story of Pam. It, you know, traveled around in our community quite a bit. And it was beautiful. And also, of course, that, you know, that there's a blessing in everything, because that's really how I live my life. I know there's a blessing in everything. I don't necessarily see it right away. You know, it might take years for me to really realize that there's a blessing in it, but just stating it and firmly allowing it is, you know, that is the first step to know it's there. And when it's time for me to understand it and see it, then I will. And until that, I kind of, you know, live in the mystery, and I have to be comfortable in doing that. So, so thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Janet. I'm so glad to be a part of this community with you. And
Absolutely.
we were just saying, like when my house was robbed, you know, it wasn't in the moment that I was able to release what was going on, but what I did focus on was the love that showed up, you know, like a wall of love. You know, whenever there's a tragedy in anybody's life, if we see the blessing that comes around it, it makes us more conscious of the fact that we don't know what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
It is okay for us to just accept the love and accept what shows up for us.
Yeah, you know. And that's not to say that when you tell that to some people who are going through something difficult, they won't think you're certifiably crazy.
Probably
you
not. I don't tell Pam's spouse to snap out of it. I would never, you know. And when she says I have nothing to be grateful for, I just, you know, I'm just with her. I'm just with her in her emotion. I don't try to, you know, tell her to see differently or feel differently, because all of that is just an unfolding, you know,
Yes.
when the time is right.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Janet. Christopher, would you like to share anything?
I think he's muted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm just grateful to be here. Okay, grateful to be here. Miss Angela, your facilitation is outstanding. So thank you. And everyone else, I mean, I loved everything that was said, but oh my God, the way that, Lord, the way that you took such a horrific experience and weaved in all of this, I mean, so much wisdom and so much knowledge to get us to a place, you know, to look beyond that was amazing for me. I've gone through quite a bit in these last few years. I mean, I had COVID twice. I've, you know, battled with cancer, and homeless. I mean, I had some stuff happen, but now, you know, everything is exactly where it's supposed to be, cancer free. I mean, I have a new home, and yeah, and just everything is wonderful at this point. But during the going through process, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see the light. So thankful to you that I will get to the light a lot quicker when going through circumstances in the future. So thank you.
Thank you. Blessing. It's a blessing.
Okay, okay, Sean.
Sean.
I just am in like complete awe right now. I mean, I don't know if I'm crying tears of joy or what. Just seeing my physical life connecting with my spiritual community that's been such a big part of my life for the last 8 or 9 years. That's just like, I have chills going through my body right now. And, you know, sometimes I'm not present and sometimes I'm not as spiritual as I feel like I should be. But right now, it's like incredible, the feeling that I feel, how everything is coming together. And just, you know, sometimes I really don't know what anything is for. I didn't know why I left my corporate job. I didn't know why I do the things that I do, but seeing what we're doing here in South Florida and seeing what we're doing here at the Power of Love Ministry, my goodness, I'm like at loss for words right now. And it's really bringing me back to spirit and really helping me define my path more and more. Because sometimes it's easier for me to hide and walk away from all of this. But right now, it's incredible. And even last night, having dinner with Angie, Pam's wife, and just seeing, you know, the beautiful light that Lori and Janet and Angela and Tammy and Chris bring into this world has been so heartfelt and warming and inspiring. Thank you.
You were a part of that, Sean. You're a part of that.
Yeah, I finally feel like, you know, I never knew really what my part was, but I think it's building communities and just bringing us all together and just feeling part of who we really are. We are one, and it's really becoming apparent to me how true that really is.
Yes.
It's like your friends are playing together and you're so happy, you know.
That's right. We all ended up on the same playground.
Yeah.
You know, I sit in the full moons and I just sit there smiling because I really can feel the joy, all the joy that I've been searching for my whole life, whether it's being a success in my career or being a great parent. It's just really being in the now and feeling the joy at the present moment.
Well, I love that. I got to tell you, that really helps me because I do this, what I call the open air ashram. I do, you know, the full moon ceremony on the beach once a month. And I look over, I see Sean smiling. I was like, oh, it's such a nice connection, you know, to just have that spiritual synchronicity going on. I love that. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Yay.
you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I said your smile kept me through the little bloopers. It was like, Sean smiling. We're cool. All is well.
Oh, I did want to say I was kind of relieved that you had some technical issues, because I have technical issues every week. I have technical issues every week since I started live streaming in the middle of COVID. So I wasn't happy for you, but I was relieved for me that technical issues occur everywhere, not just here in my home.
Yes, for sure. I get it. Yes. Yeah. And it seems like you have, like when you told the story about the bowl and the transponders and the lightning, and I was like, well, that was a powerful.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So I don't know how you need to neutralize your power, like your powers, maybe something on the wall.
What would that be?
I don't know, but prayer is fine. It'll do it, but it's all good. Yeah. And as we were talking today, one thing I read, one of Jennifer's daily blogs her daily spiritual espresso like a week ago. And it was, again, the messages that are so simple, but they're so powerful. It's like, and it was something about how basically how love is the healer. And she said that when people around her are triggered, or if she gets into something with an upset with people, as she's more and more and more able to be in her loving heart and not need to react, like as she's more and more able, as we get, you know, more and more masterful, that love like dissolves the thing. It can dissolve the thing. And as I have a nearly 4-year-old who's just in the midst of like very intense emotions, and then it's so fascinating that I can see where I'm judging her, like, you know, like today she wanted to watch videos on my phone, which is a terrible thing. I mean, this is a judgment, because then it's so hard to get her off that thing. And then I get, before I'm like, I set a timer, she swipes it up, sends it off. And the thing is like, I'm trying, there's so much to learn, right? It's like tuning in before we make a decision together, before I give her, you know, like set her up for it, like tuning in. And then as she's not wanting to listen, it's like tune back in right there, because these are all the places where I go to. I can overpower you and take it, and then I can, but then I'm part of, you know, I'm out of my loving heart. I'm not consciously connected, and it only creates upset. And so I get so much practice. I don't know about you, Tammy, with the little ones, but it's like, but we all have that same practice. And I love how, if we can flip it to look at like, all right, well, let's see how many times today I can connect before I do anything, so that I can just see how that feels. And it's like, I don't need to be perfect. But when I read that, and when I heard it in your story too, I heard it in your sharing, Lori, it's just like, I love that, because one time there was something, I've talked about it before, but there was like arguing right outside of my house, and my husband appeared to be very calm, and I was quite reactive, like, I was judging it, like, this is bad, I don't like this, get out of here. And I was like noticing I was not able to be truly helpful. I was triggered. I was totally taken out of, I wasn't able to connect because I was so in judgment. So I love having that experience, because it just shows me, if I'm in judgment, I can't connect with spirit. I could be part of the solution. I could be helpful. I could be loving to myself if that's what's most needed, but I could also be praying for them, you know? So anyway, all those connecting points for me, it's the similar message all the time, but it's so helpful and it's so nourishing. So that's what I'll add.
Well, God bless you and your 4-year-old guru.
Oh gosh.
Plenty more
She's
years.
like, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she is my greatest teacher.
She's all of our teachers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. She's sleeping now, but if she wasn't, she'd be all up in this thing.
She's amazing.
And yeah, she'd be asking where's Wise as well, which is Tammy's little guru. Okay, so are we all back? We are coming back. Okay, so thank you everyone for participating in the breakout. If I could give you bonus points, that's a bonus point. And if you have anything you'd like to declare or share, any new decision, anything that felt helpful or powerful from your breakout, you have this opportunity now. If you'd like to put something in the chat, what did you take away, or any new insights or a declaration that you're making that you can take into the future. So feel free to do that, please. Okay, and we'll move to our announcements. Just as we have people together, we like to let you know what's going on in the ministry, and then we'll give you a chance, Lori and Christopher, to also share what's going on in your offerings. So first, in the ministry, we have a create and lead workshops that make a difference. And this is led by Karen Russo, who is teaming with Jennifer. So they're kind of co-presenting a Create and Lead workshop. And that's going to be 5 sessions that start August 16th. So more information about the Create and Lead workshop, we'll put that in the chat for you. And then coming up soon, it's hard to believe we're rolling into fall, like pretty soon. I mean, we're getting there, that we have the Stop Playing Small online retreat. And so that's over 2 long weekends. And that's been a really successful, powerful experience for many people. So if you click that link, if you get there, you can go ahead and read the testimonials from those programs. And I'm just seeing if anybody needs help in the chat here. I'm not sure I'm seeing it. Okay, so here, okay. You doing okay, Sean? Not yet. So here is the Create and Lead a workshop link. This is the first one I mentioned. And then the SPS, Stop Playing Small retreat. No problem. We have that link. I can put that in. And the other thing I'd love to mention is we have new miracle circles opening up. So miracle circles, and Janet is one of our facilitators, and so is Tammy, who are currently leading a miracle circle. And they're weekly meetings. You come as you are. They're hour-long meetings, and you're sharing your walk, living the course, just sharing right where you're at. And I don't know, Janet, if you want to say a little thing about anything about what it's been for you to be a part of the Miracle Circle.
It's been wonderful. It just is the soul sisterhood that is built up with meeting with these same women every Monday morning. Has just been great. And I love the fact that it's Monday morning, because it's a great way to start the week with feeling so full from the love that we share, and the support also, you know, when people, one of the women or 2 of the women, whatever they're going through, that they have a safe space to share, and for us to look at it from a Course in Miracles perspective. It's just been great. I highly recommend signing up for it, and I can't say enough good things about it. I was hesitant because I hadn't done anything with the ministry like this before, and it was a fantastic suggestion. And thank you, Sean, because she got me there.
Once
She
again,
suggested. Yes,
cool,
she builds
thanks.
community.
Right? Another evidence.
Right.
Tammy, anything you'd say about Miracle Circles? Thank you, Janet.
Yeah, I would, just like Janet, I would highly recommend it as well. For me, it's such a great bond with other women, with the other members of our group. And I get to experience all these miracles in everyone else's life that they come up, they share every week, and that have been really healing for me as well. And yeah, it's a great commitment. You come as you are. There's no study. You just share your heart, whether it's joy, whether it's sadness, whatever it is. But we just leave. At the end of the hour, everybody is just so empowered and loved, and it's beautiful. It's wonderful. If you want to, yeah, just look into it. It's great. It's a great experience.
Thank you. And just to clarify, Miracle Circles are a free offering. So the link I put is from the Living A Course in Miracles website. If you go there, you can just
sent
fill
the
out.
link to me. I'm trying,
Oh, I shared it with you. My bad.
and
Okay.
I apologize. I'm having
Here it
confusion.
is.
There you
Sean's
go.
got a new computer.
And I don't know how to use it.
That's okay. So here's the link to the Miracle Circles. And if you go to the bottom, you'll see an application, and then you can fill out the application and we'll get in touch with you. So again, it's free, and it is a year-long commitment, the best you can make it. Just that's because that's how we get to that bonded, close, tight-knit group experience. So yeah, thank you. Miracle Circles. Okay, and so Lori, would you like to share any announcements?
Well, sure. I'll just let folks know how to find me. On Facebook, I have a live stream called Miracles with a Twist, and that's the name of the page, Miracles with a Twist. And the twist is basically the interfaith perspective. Sometimes I put a little spin on it. And we also treat it more like a sacred ceremony, a sacred celebration of spirit. So there's prayer and meditation and music, and then a little teaching. That's on Thursdays. Then on Tuesdays, I post something called Miracles with a Twist Conversations. And that's between myself and Reverend Linda Benton. We unpack, we dig deep into the discussion from Thursday, and we put a pre-recorded video on for people to perhaps respond to. So there's 2 pages, Miracles with a Twist, Miracles with a Twist Conversations. That's also on YouTube. My YouTube channel is called Rev Lori Cardona, and that has the Miracles with a Twist playlist. So if you don't have Facebook, you could go to the channel and find it there. I also have a 2-year interfaith seminary. Classes start in September, and we are Zooming for people who aren't local. We never used to Zoom. It had to be boots on the ground, but COVID taught us that we had to be a little more of modern time. So that's Sacred Journey Interfaith Seminary. That's a website and a Facebook page. Classes start in September. Sean. Teasing.
Teasing. Suggestions. Suggestions. Okay, so here's the seminary page.
Good, thank you.
Yes. Okay, thank you. You got this, Sean. It's okay. I usually do her role, so I'm used to it. Okay, Christopher, any announcements you would like to make? Oh.
Uh-oh.
So cute.
Okay. So, am I unmuted?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. No announcements. I'm just glad to be here. Thank you. Good to see you all.
Okay, great. Well, I think it's your turn, Christopher, then to sing us out of here, and then we will end with a prayer from Tammy.
Okay.
Although I did forget something, we need to put the donations link in there. If you'd like to donate to the Power of Love Ministry for putting on Sundays with Spirit, we will put the donate link in there. And then also, if you would like to sign up for the text messages, that's the way to donate. Sorry. And that's it. Okay, take it away, Christopher. I'm out of here.
Okay, sending love and light out to Reverend Jennifer Hadley. Thank you for including me in this and introducing me to this community. And this is a song about use me, just giving God the permission to use us. Use me for your will, your purpose to fulfill. That is why I offer you my service, Lord. Whoa. I am grateful for my life. Your love is my reward. So use me, use me, use me for your will. Use me for your will, your purpose to fulfill. That is why I offer you my service, Lord. Oh, I am grateful for my life. Your love is my reward. So use me, use me, use me for your will. And 'cause I must be still and listen to your will. I hear you whisper in my ear, no need to fear. Oh, challenges may come my way, your word I will obey. So use me, use me, use me for your will, for your will. Use me, Lord, for your will, for your will.
Beautiful, Christopher. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everyone's hearts are touched, and thank you so much. Thanks for being here. And before Tammy prays us out, just thank you to GJ behind the scenes. Thank you, Sean, for being here. Thanks for bringing Lori here. Thank you for everyone who stayed on to the very end, and those listening in Facebook. Tammy, you can take us home. Thank you, Tammy.
Oh, we are grateful. We are so grateful and thankful for the healing that we receive. And now we can go forth this week with our open hearts so that God can use us. We are grateful and thankful that this service was able to dissolve so much blocks to love, so much resistance. We are grateful that we can fully embody love and we can let go of all the judgments. We are grateful and thankful for this community, for this deep-rooted connection with Spirit. And so we go forth this week, allowing Spirit to use us, allowing us to be where love would have us be. And we share all of our benefits, all of our love, all of our joy with all of our brothers and sisters, remembering that we are one. And so we let it be. And so it is. Amen, amen, amen.
Beautiful. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Sean and GJ. Thank you, everyone. Blessings. Bye for now.